Well, I remember an old story which my father used to always say, that there was on the gates of the heaven, there were two doors. The first door said, those who listen to their wives, stand there. And those who don't listen to their wives, stand on the other queue, other door. Long queue on the first one, and only one man was staying on the other. So somebody asked him, why are you there? Because my wife told me to be here. So I believe that there are only one kind of people. I was scared when I heard Santanam was going to talk after me. Then when he concluded that his wife did the speech, I was very happy about it. And fortunately for me, in my house, I've got 2 daughters and 1 wife. 75% is owned by them. So they are woman power there again. So just now, about a month ago, I have got a granddaughter. So again, more woman power in the family. So I've been managing data for Kurlon for almost over 15 years now. And my boss, HR head, is already part of you here. Because she runs the company more than me. Because if she gets the right person, I'm happy to be there in the company. The challenge has been in this company for me is to find the next woman managing director. What is required? People have to come out, and she knows my requirement. So if any one of you are interested, you can send your application to her. This is not a joke, this is serious, because I was supposed to retire according to my board of directors 5 years ago, because according to Government of India, at the age of 60, you have to retire. I'm not supposed to tell you my age, but you've got to know it now. But the challenge of my life has been being a part of the Manipal family. And I told some of that to Vanita last time in one of the programs in Chennai, I think. So she said that this fellow should come again to be listened to. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you this morning for giving me this opportunity to come and talk before you. If I'm rude, if I'm not right, please pardon me, because that's a caveat. Because human being is always a human being, men or women. We always make mistakes, but we learn out of every mistake. So out of every mistake of my life, I've learned a lot of things, and I always like to share that with every person whom I come across. My grandfather was the founder of Syndicate Bank, if some of you do not know about it. And he started Manipal about 100 years ago. And he was from a very, very middle-class family. He lost his father when he was in the 5th standard. His elder brother started a small business through which he got himself educated. And he passed out his SSLC. But when he passed out his SSLC, there was a seat available for a medical graduate for my other granduncle. So he went to Madras and did his MBBS in 1925. So that was the year my grandfather started the Syndicate Bank. And a lot of people think he started Syndicate Bank because he had a lot of money. And people think that South Canara district has got 5 biggest banks in the country today, out of which 4 are nationalized and 1 is not nationalized. The reason why South Canara started so many banks, and they survived only because we didn't have our own money. Because others' money would come to our bank and we would look after the money. And what I have learned in my life, and somebody said regarding money, how to break through money also, or break free for money also. So I was told money is like, for any activity in life, is like oxygen to the body. There is 23.8% oxygen in the air, but we don't even take 1/3 of it. So for me, money is like, for what activity, where are you going to give, how are you going to give, to whom are you going to give, and how is it going to be used, is to be understood by definitely by women, but also by men. Because I was in Kerala just about a week ago, and people in Kerala said now the salaries have gone up and a minimum wage for an ordinary worker has become 1,000 rupees per day. And if that is so, what happens to that money? They said 33% of that goes to the liquor the same day, and another 25% go to the lottery, I was told. I was shocked. Incidentally, I was lucky to be a part of a lottery company for more than a decade. So I was very lucky to handle more than 25 businesses in my life. I started my life in a steel rolling mill as a technical manager. I I became a general manager in less than 2 years. I was a managing director after 3 years. The company, which had lost 80% of its equity, came out and started paying 25% dividend year after year after year. I was told not paying a dividend to the shareholder is like a traitor in business. If you're a traitor to the country, you don't look after the country, you don't look after yourself being a part of that country. So similarly, if you are in a company, if you don't look after the shareholders' money, that's God's money. So some of we don't know why are we not listed, or we are listed, but doesn't matter. It is the money of somebody has taken a risk into the share capital. So a lot of us understand mathematics, income minus expenditure is what is savings, but I was taught in a very young age that income minus savings should be expenditure. So this is what Syndicate Bank brought in, pygmy deposit, 1928. 2 anna was the smallest deposit they could collect at that time. Even today, the smallest deposit Syndicate Bank collects is just 5 rupees. Just 5 rupees. You can imagine, today you may not get a 5 rupee currency note, right? And Syndicate Bank collects every year 1,500 crores. If you ask McKinsey's or if you ask Boston Consulting Group, who are advisors, they should close this. Why? Because it was costing 18 rupees for a receipt to be given. Now they've got an IBM computer, they've got a software, it has become to 28 rupees per receipt. So sometimes we feel the costs are working pro rata to us, but things are never so. We have to get deeper into everything what we do in life. So when my grandfather came to Manipal, his only dream was to start a small village where the necessity of human being, roti, kapda or makan, are all created there. So he took 107 acres of land at 70 rupees per acre at that time and brought some 4 families of farmers, worked with them for for paddy for the first crop, gram for the third crop and vegetable for the third crop. He said, let us make our own food in our village. Then he went into a textile company called Manipal Textiles, which had to be wound up in 1962 because of mechanization of, the kapda industry, the textile industry. But we could not make it into handloom, what is there. But at that time, there were more than 6 lakh looms in South Kannada district, where Syndicate Bank, when it was started because my grandfather wanted to go and buy another bank called Corporation Bank. I'm sure all of you heard about Corporation Bank. Corporation Bank is the oldest bank in South Kannada district. In 1905, it was started by a Muslim, that he was started only because he was very rich. It is the same story in Hyderabad. The richest man in the world for more than 200 years was the Nizam of Hyderabad living here. But today you can see, known way, you can see his name on the list. So we were told richness and poorness is a part of life when you come, on which you have no choice. But you have still right to become rich. To become rich, the formula was that taught to us was income minus saving should be expenditure. Life is like a water tank. You have an inlet pipe and an outlet pipe. As long as the inlet pipe brings few drops to in your tank every day, someday you'll become the richest person in the world. But if your tank is getting leaked every day, the richest man in the world will become the poorest man. If this is what finance we have learned and we can practice, there is enough money in the world for every one of us, for every activity that we want to do. IWN is one of them which has been started, as you have heard, it's the 5th year, and I'm sure it will do very well. It should be a very good institution. I'm sure it will do very well. And for me, in the Syndicate Bank story, the most beautiful part of the Syndicate Bank story, Syndicate Bank started in 1962, all-women branch in Bangalore. Right from the manager of the bank to the last person in the bank was a woman. We said, to catch a woman, appoint a woman only. Syndicate Bank also said, how to empower women. We found out the fisher women in South Kannada district are all marketeers. The cash is with them. They go and do the selling. The men go and do the catch of the fish. So all their request was, come to the bank manager and tell him, I'm putting the money in the bank. Don't tell my husband my balance because half of it will be blown up in liquor. So Syndicate Bank had believed that woman empowerment was very, very important. And every woman who was willing to work in the bank was given a job. And my uncles and our family believed that equal opportunity had to be given to at every point of life. One of the first institutions for the first grade college was started in Udupi. We went to the begging bowl. A man with large heart didn't have large bank balance. A man with the large bank balance didn't have large heart. So that is the story of many educational institutions. And that's so of the first educational institution called Mahatma Gandhi Memorial College, which started in Udupi. In those days, we used to ask, where is Manipal? Because Manipal is Mannu Palla became Manipal. Today we have given a new name. Many people coming together can become a part of Manipal group. So we are trying to spread this, many Pals coming together in the group. But when my grandfathers wanted to start the first grade college, the news in the little town of Udupi, where Syndicate Bank was there, that the Pais have gone bankrupt. So they don't want to say that. In the guys saying that we don't have money, they started begging money for the college. We said reputation is more important than the money. We returned the money back to the people because we had given a receipt for every rupee that we had collected. After 8 months, my uncle TFI came up with an idea. He said that let us collect only 1 rupee from every person. It took us 14 months to collect the first 1 lakh of rupees. We sent it to the Madras University. Lakshman Swami Mudliar was the Vice Chancellor of the university. And whatever the religion and whatever he was belonged in, he said that you can start a college only for men. So that was a challenge. We didn't have enough boys there to go to college because even there were no enough people to come finish the high school at that time. There were no enough schools there at that time. Today I can tell you that 100 years back, South Canara district total literacy was 12%. Today it is 99.8%. We have more than 600 schools, more than 100 colleges. This has happened not only because of us, because of many people coming together, saying that we can make a success out of what we can do in education. This MGM college got the charter. So we went to the lawyers, we said what to do, we have got a charter. They said, you take 1 girl. But no girl was willing to come because in case it is de-recognized, what will happen? But Shanta, who was an orphan child, didn't have parents, we persuaded her to come into the college. She was in the final year when we got the first order from the High Court of Madras, Shanta versus University of Madras. She won the case on fundamental right of education of women. Even today in the Supreme Court, this is a standard case on fundamental right. Shanta versus, and Shanta who thought he will not get married to any boy, got married to the best lawyer in South India called Vasant Pai and had a fantastic, she's still living, she's 87 years old now. And the challenge is that every problem has an opportunity. But we were told that Lakshman Swami Mudliar is going to go to Supreme Court on this case. We did not know what to do about it. My father took the trouble calling Shanta and we drafted a letter. At that time, the young lady, Indira Priyadarshini, was the daughter of Nehru, our beloved Prime Minister at that time. She wrote to her, Mrs. Indira Priyadarshini, I'm a girl like you. Your father could afford to send you to Oxford to do your education. I have no parents. I can't even go to the next town to do my graduation. So I won the case. I understand the Vice Chancellor has now taken a decision to go to Supreme Court. We have no money. We are going to lose the case. But for your intervention with your father on the breakfast table, if you can put in a word with the governor, who is the Chancellor of the university, there is some hope for these orphan girls to finish their education and get a degree. We did not know why the case didn't go. It so happens that Sri Prakasham was the governor of Madras at that time. He came to Udupi Krishna temple. If any one of you have not come to Udupi Krishna temple, you have to come because that's the only temple in the world where you see a God through a window. So 500 years ago, Kanakadasa prayed there and the God turned from the east to the west. The story goes, God is with you if you want him to be with you. So Prakasham came there and he said that we requested him to make a public address being a part of our Madras presidency, and he said that Kanakadasa did 500 years ago. One early morning on my breakfast table, when I got a call from the Prime Minister's office, I was shaking in my shoes. Why am I getting a call this morning? And this was the girl Shanta from Udupi. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, you will not go to Supreme Court. This case is enough. Give her the right for her education. So these are some of the success stories Manipal has got. I wish if I had got more time I would have said, but I promise Vanita that I'll finish my address in 11 minutes. I've already gone to 14 minutes. I was given 15 minutes. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm happy that all of you will have me again whenever you want, an opportunity to discuss for this great opportunity where in Manipal we believe only impossible things can be done. And that definitely can be done by the women too. Thank you very much.